Who wants to guess what momentous occasion this is? This is our last, yes, last virtual luncheon. Oh my gosh, I know Jay Mathis is going to be super excited. Bobby is clapping her hands. Yes. Oh my gosh, Frank. Yes, everybody. We are so excited. This is our last virtual luncheon and we couldn't be more excited.
Give me a Y, give me an E, give me an F. Yeah!
Woo-hoo-hoo! So, and I just happened to buy some sound effects. So I was a little late to the uptick on that, right? Oh my gosh, this is amazing. So we are going to hear a lot today. This is going to be an incredible event. Some of our amazing city leaders and community leaders, Clyde Evans, Jamie Lutzring, Mark Pfeiffer, Ryan Pinning, and Shane Ratcliffe are here today to tell us what has gone on for the last year in West Des Moines. And let me tell you, a lot has gone on. This has been an incredible year. In 2020, West Des Moines, we didn't retract. We kept going. As a matter of fact, we kept going with so much momentum that you are going to be blown away, I am sure, today, but by all the stories of growth and success. And I have a couple of points that I want to highlight as well. So first of all, we are super excited about the Google Conduit project that's going to put high-speed 1 gig bandwidth into every home and business that wants it and access to all providers. So that's going to be incredible. In 2020, we saw the second highest level of building permit activity in our history, totaling 690 million. Now that's incredible. West Des Moines remains on the list of top 100 US cities with a AAA bond rating, and we are the 6th largest city in the state of Iowa. And we continue to grow and develop, as Mark Pfeiffer is going to tell us too, of the amazing DMU project. In 2020, both the Raccoon River Boathouse and the JB Hurd Amphitheater were completed, and the 300 square foot MidAmerican energy company, RecPlex, is soon to be open. I know we've seen a lot of sports activities outside, and soon that inside is going to be open too. And we can't hear about the development on that. Thank you, Shane Ratcliffe. So, without further ado, I'm excited to introduce the West Des Moines Chamber team. Bailey first is our event expert. And Bailey, I bet you're relieved that this is our last chamber luncheon via Zoom, but she has done an incredible job. I want everybody to clap for Bailey. She is an incredible, organized, professional expert with the West Des Moines Chamber, and she's just done the most amazing job. And these events continue to grow and grow and grow in momentum and attendance. So thank you so much, Bailey. I am excited to introduce Nicole Langmaid, our amazing chamber operations expert, Kara Matheson, who leads our workforce group, and she's an incredible, lot of new announcements coming in our workforce group, Anna Dowd, who heads up our membership. And we are so excited to announce a brand new team member, Tom Florian, who is going to work side by side with Anna, helping businesses grow and in our membership areas. So Tom, I'd love to have you say a few words and introduce yourself.
Well, thanks, Catherine, and thank you all for being here for our last virtual luncheon. Super excited to join this amazing team. I was just enthralled by their enthusiasm for the exciting things that are happening in the West Des Moines community. I live here in West Des Moines, formerly worked in the athletics marketing, athletic sponsorship space, but really excited to join the West Des Moines Chamber team and look forward to getting to know all of you here on the virtual luncheon and helping your businesses to grow as well. So again, Catherine, thank you for having me and excited to get to work.
Thank you so much, Tom. I mean, really, the demand has been so high. It's honestly hard for all of us to keep up with it. So, Tom, thank you so much for being here. It's going to be an amazing 2021, 2022, and beyond. We've got a lot of really cool things in store, as always, right? So, I'm so excited. So, I want to thank especially Bank Iowa for sponsoring this series. IMT Insurance, thank you so much for your support. And I'm going to pass the virtual baton to Anna Dowd, who will be spotlighting our wonderful, gracious sponsors. So thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Catherine. And again, thank you to everyone who is joining us today. You know, I get the honor to introduce our sponsors today. And without them, you know, our programming and our events wouldn't be possible. So up first, I'm excited to introduce our supporting sponsor for today's luncheon, IMT Insurance. They are one of our valued President's Council members. And with us today from IMT is the oh so wonderful Kelly Field. So with that, I'll pass it over to you, Kelly.
Thank you, Anna. We are thrilled to be supporting this luncheon. It's a wonderful opportunity, as you all know, to connect and share ideas and energy and excitement about the amazing things happening in West Des Moines and our state. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with IMT, I'll give you, well, for me, short. I'm long-winded, as the chamber group knows. I'll try to keep it short. IMT was founded in 1884, so we've been around for a bit. And we actually started in Wadena, Iowa. And our current home office is in the fabulous West Des Moines. Of course, we were at the end of, kind of at the end of Mill Civic Parkway, hopping over Jordan Creek, over by Salmons and Athene. And I'm thrilled that we have a Smoky Row coffee shop within walking distance. So for you tea drinkers, they have the best chocolate chai tea. So make sure you put that on your list of things to check out. So IMT Insurance, we offer personal and commercial insurance products through our incredible independent insurance agents. And they are spread across our 6-state writing territory. I have to do my map in my head, which is Iowa, of course, Nebraska, South Dakota, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Illinois. And through those independent insurance agents, I think IMT takes great pride in the relationships and the partnerships that we can still maintain with our policyholders in a variety of communities across that writing territory. And customer service for us is like the top thing to reach, right? So maintaining those partnerships and connections is great. And I think you hopefully will see that when you come to IMT. We really try to create an environment that's enthusiastic and supportive and energized. And also, we also want to create an environment for our employees where they feel purposeful. They feel like they can have a little bit of fun, and they can also grow as individuals. And those connections then for us also filter into the community, which is the job that I get to do, the dream job over here. So really making sure that IMT can take the success that we have as a business and put that right back into the communities that we serve. And we're very, very specific about how we do that. For us, it's about giving beyond the check. It's not enough anymore to just cut a check and put it in the mail. For us, we want to know who we're helping, how we're helping, and really make sure that the dollars or the time, the volunteer time that we give is impactful. And we like to be able to tell that giving story so that we can promote not only our brand, as we all know, it's also a cause-related marketing effort, but also then promote the needs and success of our nonprofits and programs in our community. So this is another great example of that. We love the West Des Moines Chamber and all of the wonderful things this team is putting together. I think one of the things we're most excited about being partners with the Chamber is that we can take all of y'all's knowledge, right, and your experiences to help make us a better company as well. And we always say together we're better. And this is what better way to show that than through luncheons like these. So thank you for allowing us the opportunity to support this event. And thank you all for being here today. And I'll zip it now.
Well, thank you, Kelly. We certainly love IMT Insurance, and we, you know, again, just thank you for your support, not only of the Chamber, but of the entire community. So thank you guys for being here. So up next, I am thrilled to introduce our presenting sponsor for today, Bank Iowa. Now, Bank Iowa has been a long-term supporter of the Chamber's monthly luncheons. So we are thankful to have them here with us today. And with that, I'm excited to introduce John Ratchin to the virtual stage.
Okay, am I on? There we go. Good morning, everyone. So what I thought I would do here is just give you a little bit of an update on kind of where we're at today at Bank Iowa and some of the really great things that we've seen so far this year, and then also maybe mention some things that we're seeing from our customers and in the communities that we serve. So first of all, let me start with COVID. Last week, we did survey our employees, and we did remove our mask mandate for our employees and customers. So we feel we're at a point as an organization where we've got good penetration with those that have gotten the vaccines, and Certainly we'll respect wishes of customers, but for the most part, we're moving on as an organization in terms of the mask protocols. One thing that I did want to share is the Paycheck Protection Program, lending program that was part of the stimulus. As a bank, we made 3,492 PPP loans to our customers, totaling $136 million. So in essence, that's all money that our customers and non-customers applied for and will be forgiven. So that's money that comes back into the community that we serve, that customers can use to continue to grow their business. On the positive side, rates are very low. It's a good time to finance a home, get a home equity line, get a loan for your business. Some things today that we're seeing in the market, obviously, our mortgage folks that make first mortgage loans have been super busy. We are starting to see some issues with appraisals where prices have accelerated so quickly that comparables are a little bit difficult to find on certain transactions. So we are starting to see that. We hear a lot from our customers about supply chain issues and price increases. And I think it's safe to say that we're definitely in the early stages of inflation. And our customers and our bank is going to have to figure out how to address that and manage that as we move forward. Part of our bank is committed to ag and agribusiness. Really what we thought was going to be a concern a year ago. Commodity prices are really great today, corn and bean prices. The big concern that we would have today would be the drought that we have in the state of Iowa. If you look at our rainfall map in Iowa, we're incredibly dry. We need some rain. A lot of planting has occurred, but a lot of that's today laying in dry dirt. So hopefully we'll get some rain. Tremendous amount of cash in the banking system with the stimulus programs that were put forward. Every bank is just flush with cash right now. And so there's a tremendous amount of money sitting there looking for a return, looking for an investment. But overall, looking forward, we're off to a great start this year. I'm very optimistic about 2021, 2022. And so we're just going to continue to look for opportunities to help people and do what we do. So with that, I'll stop there. Proud to be a sponsor of the luncheon, and I'll turn it back to, who's it go back to? Anna? Okay.
Doesn't, no, this time.
All right, Catherine, there you go.
Thank you so much, John. Thank you. And I appreciate that report so much. That's a really great information about, what you're doing as a company. We get asked that a lot. What are you doing for your employees? What do you hear other businesses doing? So that was a really great information. And you have been such a huge supporter. The banking industry has been really the lifeblood for so many of these small businesses that we work with every day. And if it wasn't for the PPP, they wouldn't be around. And they tell us that every single day, John. So thank you for working. I know the midnight oil, with all these different PPPs that have come out, and it's just been a lifeline for our small businesses. So thank you for all of your hard work, you and your team. It's been tremendous. And I see Jane Armstrong even just joined us. Of course, she's one of our key SBA leaders. So it's wonderful to have her really deeply involved in our community, helping with some of those wonderful programs. So thank you, John, for sponsoring, and thank you, Anna, for your beautiful introductions of our sponsors today. Really appreciate it. Okay, well, we are excited to learn more about the growth of West Des Moines during the pandemic and what the future looks like. So I'm excited to pass the virtual baton and stage to Clyde Evans. And Clyde is our city's Director of Community and Economic Development. And boy, we're talking a guru for the city of West Des Moines. So Clyde, thank you so much for all of your help that you do to help keep our region as wonderful as it is. So go ahead, Clyde.
Well, thank you very much, Catherine. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk about some of the things that have been going on in the city of West Des Moines. And first off, I'll share my screen here, I hope. Okay. And one of the things I want to talk about is some of the things that have been occurring in Valley Junction and also what's going on with Valley West Mall. We get a lot of questions asked about what is happening there. First off, in Valley Junction, we've been running 4 different programs to encourage redevelopment within the Valley Junction neighborhood, particularly the commercial district. The 4 programs are the Valley Junction Regulatory Compliance Program, Valley Junction Property Improvement Program, Valley Junction Upper Story Housing Program, and the Property Tax Rebate Program. About 5 years ago, the city did what is referred to as the Historic West Des Moines Plan and identified different things, particularly in the commercial district, that the city needed to work on to try to improve things there. For instance, the Valley Junction Regulatory Compliance Program, the intent of the program was to assist property owners and businesses in making needed repairs or installations of, say, fire suppression systems, upgrading electrical, plumbing systems, ADA compliance. And all those items tend to be very expensive. And so the city set up a grant program that would allow, on a one-to-one match basis, $75,000 to go to the business to make those improvements to their property. And one of the primary intents was to incentivize new restaurants and bars to locate within the Valley Junction Commercial District. Since the start of the program, we've had 6 new restaurants and bars open for business, and 1 restaurant that had a very major expansion and renovation to their property. The other program that we operated was the Property Improvement Fund. Intent of the program was to assist in redevelopment of properties. We provided a 0 interest loan for up to 10 years, and a property owner, again, on a one-to-one match basis, could get up to $75,000. The program was extremely successful. It resulted in the relocation and creation of 10 new businesses within the historic Valley Junction Business District. And the city was able to leverage our funds. For every dollar we put in, we saw $5 of new investment within the commercial district. The third program was the Upper Story Housing Program. The Historic West Des Moines Plan identified the fact that we needed to try to bring more housing into the commercial district and encourage redevelopment and new construction. To date, we have had 4 mixed-use projects in the 300 block, and they have created 39 new workforce housing units. The city provided up to $75,000 per unit with the requirement that the property had to be affordable to somebody in a lower moderate income. And when we talk about lower moderate income, we're talking really about people that work in the service industry, people that are school teachers, people really in the professional occupations like that. Also, the 4th program was the Property Tax Rebate Program. We are working with 4 different properties on the redevelopment of underutilized properties. We've seen the construction, or soon to be construction, of 3 mixed-use buildings and 1 commercial building. Combined, the 4 projects will create over 25,900 square feet of new commercial space and 39 workforce housing units. Combined, the 4 projects will create over $10.2 million in new property tax revenues for the city, above and beyond what the valuations for the properties when they were redeveloped. And then next area that I'm going to talk about is the Valley West Mall redevelopment. There's been a lot of interest on what's going on there, what's going to happen. Although we were unsuccessful in getting to the next round of the Reinvestment Act program, the Valley West Mall owners are very committed to redevelopment of the property. They want to reposition a property to be more of a mixed-use site with apartments, restaurants, a hotel conference center, major entertainment venue, multi-purpose outdoor plaza space, and offices. Redevelopment of the site, though, will occur over a very extended period of time, probably 10 years or more. And redevelopment of the site, the developer is estimating that it's going to take over $262 million to redevelop that site. One of the first projects that we'll probably see there will be the demolition of the former Yonkers space. Excuse me. And one of the major redevelopments that we're looking at on that site will be the conversion of the Von Maur space into a hotel convention center. There's been a lot of questions asked about what's going to happen with JCPenney's. They have successfully emerged from bankruptcy, and they've indicated to the mall owners that they plan to remain there. The mall ownership right now is working with them to strike a new deal. And one of the things that's very important with the JCPenney's lease is that they have a lot of control over the exterior area of the mall. And so until a new agreement is struck with JCPenney's, the mall really won't be able to go forward with any major redevelopment. In talking to the CEO of Watson Development, who owns the property today, he indicated that the discussions have been going very well, and they hope to have a successful resolution to that lease agreement. Here are some proposed redevelopment of the site, what it potentially would look like. Here on the south end with Westtown Parkway here on the right-hand side, they're looking at developing of multifamily area. They're looking at a large lake feature with restaurants around it, a large event space area that they're going to refer to as the patio area. This area here really is where the present Yonkers is located. And they're looking at bringing in a entertainment complex there that would include restaurants, theaters, things of that nature. And then along Valley West Drive, they're looking at developing out parcels where they would have restaurants located. And then here at the north end, they're looking at taking the Von Maur space and then converting it into a convention center hotel. And then with a potential development of an office building here on the northwest corner of the site. One of the other things they want to do on the perimeter of the site is really open it up more for the stores there that presently have access onto the mall, to allow them to have an exterior entry to their stores. Here are some potential renderings looking at from the southwest corner of the site to the northeast, where they would have the large lake feature. Restaurant or the apartment complex would be over in this area. Then this is their large event space where they were talking about, with restaurants and buildings here around the lake. And then this would be the entertainment venue. And then here's another rendering of what that would potentially look like. So I look forward to future redevelopment of this site, and I'll be available for questions following the presentation. So thank you very much.
Wow, Clyde, these pictures are so exciting. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. You guys have been obviously very, very busy, and I love your recap. And Valley Junction, I mean, it's incredible what you have achieved there. You know, to kind of summarize, 6 new restaurants and bars, relocation of 10 new businesses in Valley Junction. That's incredible. 4 mixed-use projects, 39 new workforce housing units, 3 mixed-use buildings, 1 commercial, and the Valley West Mall dream is just beautiful. So, oh my gosh, I can see us using that event space big time, because our events are getting so big. We have hundreds and hundreds of people, and we're trying to find event space, and there's not a lot of people not a lot of spaces that can accommodate 500 people, right? So that would be really, really cool. So thank you so much, Clyde. You and your team are fantastic. And one of the key reasons why West Des Moines is the best city in America to live, work, and play, right? Yes, 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 yes. I love it. All right. So we have on deck Jamie Letzring, and the amazing Jamie Letzring is Deputy City Manager, City of West Des Moines. And boy, has she been busy this year. So Jamie, take it away.
Thank you, Kathy. Yeah, we have been very busy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about an infrastructure project that you've probably heard referred to as like our Google Fiber project, or maybe the Google project. But for me, it's much less exciting than that. It's basically an infrastructure project. So that journey to create equitable access by building the citywide broadband infrastructure began really several years ago, long before the pandemic. Initially in the West Des Moines 2036 plan, it asked the question, what if West Des Moines provided high-speed internet as if it were a public utility, but through a public and private partnership? And the plan went on to lay out that vision that West Des Moines would be the city that embraces secure technology to empower, improve the lives of its residents. And it even asked the question, how could a robust public and private partnership in West Des Moines really leverage a commitment to internet access, which would, like I said, improve quality of life for residents, businesses, students, families, all of the above. So in 2016, a group of us out of the city manager's office began meeting with business leaders in West Des Moines, who told us that the number one thing that we could do as staff, as a city, to stay current in this business climate was to be able to somehow provide broadband access, more. So when we began meeting with internet service providers, they told us one of the main challenges for expanding access in West Des Moines is the cost and the expense related to conduit infrastructure. So really before the pandemic, we were including, broadband access was a huge priority for West Des Moines elected officials. And we had begun several pilot projects before the pandemic, as we were already noticing those economic development benefits of this infrastructure in our community. We began incorporating conduit with a few street projects and offered that space on a lease basis to providers. In January of last year, so January of 20, after a couple of pilot projects, is when we were approached by Google Fiber to explore public and private collaboration using that infrastructure methodology that we were already employing. So then in March of last year, we all know we got sent home to work and learn and order our groceries and talk with our friends and family, celebrate birthday parties and attend weddings all virtually. And that need for access spiked to probably an all-time high. And it was evident, more evident than ever before, that discrepancy between those who had access to high speed and those without. So that equitable access piece just became, was highlighted once again, the importance of access for all. And now here we are some 14 months later, and that infrastructure is still, just as relevant and important. I think even when we all start getting back into the office on a pretty regular basis, as many of us might well be, it's still going to be just as important. So, with the title of this presentation today being Progress in a Pandemic, during that pandemic, West Des Moines negotiated a conduit license agreement with Google Fiber. It's a collaboration where the city is installing the conduit infrastructure, and Google Fiber has agreed to offer service everywhere in West Des Moines, or everywhere that signs up to accept this pipe in their yard. And then Google Fiber pays the city a lease for however many addresses sign up. And we really had three key facets that we wanted to stick to. We wanted to make sure that we understood that it needed to be open for all fiber internet providers. It needed to go everywhere in the city. And it needed to be financially sustainable. So with our agreement with Google Fiber for the system, for their use of the system, once it's tested and verified, it is open to any fiber optic provider that wishes to utilize the conduit. It's not mandated, but it's available to access your customers. We're also building that infrastructure across the entire city corporate boundaries to any household or business that wishes to sign up. Obviously, we would need some permission because we're accessing private property. And then once they sign up, then they have that access to gain fiber internet to their home or to their business. And then finally, Google Fiber is leasing space in the system and paying the city an annual fee. Other providers will also pay to utilize space in the conduit. And I think there's been some confusion. The city is not paying Google Fiber any money. Actually, the reverse is true. Google Fiber is actually paying the city for the number of participants who sign up to join the system, really whether they take Google Fiber's services or different provider services or really take no service whatsoever. There's still a fee that Google Fiber has to pay the city. I've been asked if that system is just only for Google Fiber, and that's not the case. We're excited that it's available for multiple or any fiber optic internet service provider. And so far we've had a few that have expressed interest. So we're working with a couple other providers right now to use the system and offer fiber service. Also quite a bit of interest in cell providers who are looking to really expedite the installation of their 5G rollout. So right now construction is underway. It's being built in segments. You're probably seeing a lot of that work happening around right now. We're building a lot of what's called last mile. So it's the work that's being done in the major roadway, in the right of way, that space between the curb and the back of the sidewalk. And then later this summer, we'll begin installing what are called drops. And that's the conduit tube that or pipe that goes underground connects people's yard, your home to that piece in the right of way. And so we'll have some more information on that part of the project soon as we meet with contractors to really plan that out. And then, once we're done with the construction work, Google Fiber is doing some verifications on the system just to make sure it's built properly. Then it's open to any provider. And we're actually working with Google Fiber right now to kind of trim down and define that amount of time that it would take to test that system so that we can get more providers in there sooner. And I think, I'd be remiss, Clyde gave such a great presentation, and I have two other work colleagues that are going to talk about some really exciting stuff that the city has been doing in the last couple of years. And I'd just be remiss if I didn't mention that we've been able to accomplish all of that, this project of conduit infrastructure, what Clyde was talking about with Valley Junction, and what Ryan and Shane are going to talk about with parks and recreation activities and buildings, all while I think we're 3 years in a row having decreased our city tax rate. So this past year, or this coming fiscal year starting in July 1, while we're sensitive that valuations have increased and kind of what was mentioned earlier about home valuations, our council is definitely aware and sensitive to that and trying to do our part to still offer top tier level services. And then this coming fiscal year, they were able to decrease our tax rate by another 5 cents per thousand. So I think that's really important to share that we're trying very hard to be good, fiscally responsible stewards of tax dollars. And that's pretty much all I have. I'll turn it back over to Catherine.
Jamie, amazing. I love how inventive our city can be, private-public partnership, equitable access. That's incredible. And the internet is going to become more and more and more part of our lives. And I just really love that this is what the community said, and this is what we're bringing to the community, right? That's incredible. The city listens, our mayor, city council, and here we are delivering. So I think it's incredible. I love that it's open to all fiber companies as well. So it's really equality for all. Once it's tested, make sure it works, then we're all good to go and anybody can ride on that high speed high-speed pipe, right? So that's incredible. And then all this while decreasing the city tax rate. So I can't imagine a better story to tell for our community. And again, just thanks to you, the city team, the mayor, and our city council for really thinking outside of the box, being innovative and progressive. And that's really what's going to continue to place West Des Moines as one of the best cities in America. So thank you so much, Jamie, for that report. That was wonderful. I think we should do this event every year. There's so many cool things to learn. Geez, I'm learning so much. All right, so I'm excited to turn the virtual stage to Mark Pfeiffer. And Mark is a highly valued West Des Moines Chamber board member. So thank you, Mark, so much for your service. And it's been great to get to know you. Mark is Senior Vice President and Chief Financial Officer for Des Moines University. And everybody's heard this joke, probably me say it several times. I'll say it again. Maybe soon to be called West Des Moines University. I don't know. What is Angela saying about this crazy idea we have?
Oh, I'm working on her, Catherine, but we're still aligned with the Des Moines Golf and Country Club in West Des Moines. So that's where we're at as of today. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. Hopefully everyone can see that. Does that look good, Catherine?
Looks awesome.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everyone. We're so excited to share this story of Des Moines University relocation to West Des Moines. A little bit about Des Moines University. We have 9 academic programs, and with the growth that we can recognize in West Des Moines already, in 2023, we've already been approved for a 10th program, the Doctor of Occupational Therapy. So the first class will start in 2023, and we're currently recruiting for that director. From a patient services perspective, the DMU clinic will remain at 3,200 grand. We see about 40,000 patients a year in those specialties. We do have a behavioral health floor clinic starting in 2021. A psychiatrist has been recruited, and that position is filled, and he starts in August. Going back to March 2020, when the pandemic really started, spring break for probably all of us, for us at Des Moines University, we went on spring break for about a day, and then we were welcomed very quickly to Zoom meetings. We had 7 of us that formed the emergency response team. How are we going to manage through this pandemic? How are we going to maintain operations for our students, for our patients, for our employees? Graduation, we start planning for that in January. So that was at top of mind. What were we going to do for graduation? Were we going to be able to maintain curriculum in accordance to the accrediting organizations? And of course, the West Des Moines Campus Project. What would that impact be? We believe we had successful management of the pandemic and COVID-19. Spring break, we saved vacation time because we were all working. Operations, we maintained operations. We never closed campus. We increased the telework, of course, for employees. Online lectures and labs, faculty and staff work so closely with our accrediting bodies to maintain that accreditation standard for all programs and for the university overall. DMU Clinic, we never closed, but we returned to full operations in May 2020, managing through the PPE requirements and how we could keep everyone safe on campus. Graduation, all students graduated timely, and the West Des Moines campus remained on schedule. One of the results of COVID-19, we were all home. There was no traveling, including our architects that would be traveling all over the nation. So we were all home. We were available 24.
Hi, Mark. You might have pushed your mute button accidentally. I think you're on mute.
How about now?
You're perfect. You're back
Okay.
online. I think we missed maybe a paragraph.
Okay, let me go back. I'm sorry. as far as graduation, all students graduated timely. West Des Moines campus has remained on schedule. And for our Campus 2020, as we look back to March of 2020, we talked about what the future would look like. We started trying to be as strategic as we could. So we targeted 25% of employees returning to campus in June, 50 in July, 100% in August. In August, we bring a new incoming class to campus from all over the nation. So we wanted to make sure that we had a welcoming environment when those students were here on campus for orientation. Back to June of 2019, that's when Dr. Franklin, our president and CEO, she made the public announcement that we were relocating to West Des Moines at 8025 Grand Avenue. New campus is just 2 miles west of Interstate 35, so great location and easy access, just down the street from the MidAmerican RecPlex. About 88 acres is what we have in West Des Moines. So again, that allows us to grow into the future. So this is our campus master plan. We are not building all of these buildings in phase 1, but it just gave us an idea from administration that we could grow into the future. That may be under current administration or future administrations, but at least that will allow us to grow on the campus without relocating again. These are the 4 buildings that we are working on today. The Edge of Advancement building over on the right, that will be learning spaces on the first 2 levels, along with offices on the remaining floors. It's a 5-story building. Innovation building is 4 stories. That will be primarily academic and research labs with dining services and student study space on the main level. Health and Wellbeing building will be our wellness center and also a student health clinic as well. Campus support building, that is for facilities management, bulk storage, and parking. The Edge of Advancement building, interesting story. Our architects from RDG helped gather the information, but the Des Moines lobe of the Wisconsin Glacier moved into Iowa, moved into West Des Moines, and the advancement stopped right at the 88 acres of our property in West Des Moines. So we went back. So how do you come up with innovation? That's research labs, academic labs, that makes sense. But the Edge of Advancement, that relates to that Des Moines lobe of the Wisconsin Glacier. That's just an aerial view of the site with the current plans of 4 buildings that are in progress. A view from the south, over on the right is the Edge of Advancement building, innovation building in the center, and wellness center over on the left. Close-up view of the center of campus with green space. That's the entrance, main entrance to the Edge of Advancement building, and a terrace up on the 2nd floor looking to the west. So that'll be great location for development alumni events, faculty gatherings, staff gatherings. So we're really excited about that space. This is our Skywalk, which we are referring to as pathways. We wanted to make sure that we could navigate campus, the entire campus inside, much like we can now via tunnels, because we do recruit nationally. So for those winter months, we want to make sure that students are comfortable. But we wanted to activate this space. So it's not just a pathway or a walkway across campus from one building to another. We want to make sure there's seating and have that be active space for collaboration, for student study space. It may be a touchdown space for an employee to take advantage of that natural light coming in. This is just a walkway by the Wellness Center. And a night view of campus. Current status and schedule right now, when you drive by, there's drills on site. So we're drilling. The foundation piers are about 20 feet deep. We have 700 geothermal piers that will go in place, 400 feet deep. Foundations will be completed by August of 2021. Steel for 3 of the buildings will be completed by September of 21. The 4th building will be completed next April. We'll have the buildings enclosed by the end of this calendar year. For 3 of them, the 4th building again is in May 22. So by May 22, all buildings will be enclosed. And we'll be on target for occupancy in June of 23. And we have a number of other pictures. We have videos and information located on that webpage listed. And you can do a search for DMU new campus, and that page will pop up. Special thanks to just students, patients, faculty, and staff, our healthcare partners, especially those local partners, of course, the city of West Des Moines, and our contractors and architects that have just been spectacular through this entire project, especially when you're considering the challenges that have been encountered over the past year. So thank you so much.
Mark, oh my gosh, we can't wait. Oh my gosh, June of 2023. How are we going to be able to wait that long? I mean, it's just stunning. The architecture. I'm just imagining some really cool events in your space to show it off and to highlight how excellent DMU is and what you're doing. It's so great to have this medical institution in our backyard. It's just going to be incredible. And I love the Des Moines lobe of the Wisconsin glaciers, the edge of advancement building. I just love how you incorporated, glaciers. I mean, that is so cool. So congratulations on all of this, 88 acres and an incredible vision for the future. So Mark, you've got to be just so thrilled to be part of this project. It's fantastic. So thank you, Mark, for the update, and congratulations to Angela and the entire team at DMU. That's wonderful. Okay, we are excited to learn from Ryan Penning, who is Superintendent of Recreation at the City of West Des Moines. And boy, has Ryan and Sally, the whole team there, making recreation #1. So take it away, Ryan. All right, and I think you're still on mute. Fabulous, thank you.
All right.
Oops, I accidentally just muted you, sorry. That's my fault.
All right. Well, our mission statement here with the West Des Moines Parks and Recreation Department is that we provide our community with everyday enjoyment through people, parks, and programs. And how do you carry that mission out during a global pandemic and a year like that we've never seen before? We're fortunate to have a very strong staff. Creativity obviously played an important role in that. And then just having the support of the city council and city management who understand the value and the important role that Parks and Recreation plays in your community. And I truly believe that coming out of this, that we are a stronger department and a stronger community because of it. It made us really look at how we offered programs and events and to come up with new ways to offer our services in a different and safe manner. We made great progress on a 2016 initiative with our department, the Five Waters Project, and we were able to open up 2 great facilities. 2 out of the 5 projects are now completed. So I'll give you a little bit of background on those 2 projects. The Raccoon River Park Boathouse opened on July 23rd. If you have not been out to Raccoon River Park, I would highly encourage you to get out there. But the Boathouse really allows people to explore Blue Heron Lake in a different way now. Our concessionaire, Canoe Sport Outfitters, has more than 25 years of experience renting paddle boats, kayaks, and canoes that you can go out there and rent. The Boathouse also serves as a river trail and a land trail hub. We were able to add additional park restrooms right there in Raccoon River Park. And we also have storage lockers available to rent on an annual basis. Total cost of the project was $2.4 million. We did receive an $83,000 REAP grant. and the rest of the project was paid off using local option sales tax money. In a shortened 6-week season last year, we had more than 4,000 rentals. 41 out of the 43 storage lockers were rented. Looking forward to this coming year, we are exploring options to add additional storage lockers. They've been in great demand. We have a waiting list, probably close to 100 people now. Canoe Sport Outfitters will double the amount of equipment that they have at the Boathouse compared to last year, and they will be operating longer operating hours this year. Opening day is a week from this Saturday, May 15th. They will have modified hours during the month of May and then be fully opened Labor Day weekend opened Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day. And here's some photos of the Boathouse. And like I said, this facility is right off of Grand Avenue, right inside Raccoon River Park. Just a tremendous facility that we had great feedback from opening last year, and we're excited to get a full season in 2021. The second project that we were able to complete last fall was a Jamie Hurd Amphitheater. This opened officially on September 16th, is right here on the City School campus, and will serve as our cultural center for West Des Moines. It will play host to musical performances and creative showcases. We also have it available for private rentals, and it allows for seating up to 2,000 people, along with areas for food trucks. During tough economic times, we need to look at alternative revenue sources, and this is a great example of a public-private partnership. With more than 2/3 of the total funding coming from the private sector. We're fortunate to receive a $868,000 donation from Microsoft, and then a $850,000 in-kind donation from the Richard and Linda Hurd family. And so the remaining of the project was paid off, again, with using local option sales tax. When we opened late in the fall, during the middle of a pandemic, we were still able to host a number of special events, including the official dedication of it. IllumaFest had a number of concerts. We also showed an outdoor movie. We had the first Winter's Eve, which is a city's tree lighting ceremony. And we also had some private rentals that occurred last year. We just received a tremendous amount of feedback, not only about the facility, but just how we were able to run these type of events, again, during a pandemic. We use socially distanced circles, encourage face masks and things like that. And the response was just tremendous, and staff is extremely excited about having a full season out there at the amphitheater this year. Couple new programs that will take place this year. Summer Sundays will be a concert series in June and July on Sunday late afternoons that will feature local bands, food trucks, and lawn games. And both of these events will be free and open to the public. Moonlit Movies, a movie series happening on Friday evenings in June and July that will involve crafts, games, activities, and food trucks as well. And we'd like to thank our sponsor, West Bank, for sponsoring both these great events. And if you want to come out and test your knowledge, we'll be also be doing Trivia Tuesdays with TV sitcoms, movies, and music on Tuesday nights from 7 to 8:30. And again, this program is free and open to the public. Couple of great photos of the facility. What really, I think what makes this facility stand out is just the lighting component and all the thought process that went into that, as you can see in some of those pictures. Just a tremendous facility here, again, on the City School campus. And I want to talk a little bit about our parks and trails as we talk about the pandemic. According to a survey that was done by the National Recreation and Park Association, 83% of adults polled said that their local parks were essential for their well-being, and 2/3 of all park and rec professionals that were polled reported increased use of their agency's parks compared to the same time in 2019. People did not realize how important these spaces are, not only for your physical health, but your mental health. And we saw that here in West Des Moines. We're fortunate to manage and operate over 1,300 acres of parkland. We have 31 parks and 14 greenways throughout the city. Parks range from a 1 acre park like Pinedale Park to a 632 Raccoon River Park. And based on a 2020 citizen survey, 87% of our residents have visited a park in the past year. And also about our trails, we have 65 miles of trails with over 60 miles operated by the Park and Rec Department. The longest trail that we have here in West Des Moines is the Jordan Creek Trail that goes east and west, that is nearly 7 miles long. And a great stat and a pretty overwhelming stat is 99% of our residents live within 3 miles of a trail. You can ask bike shops how their sales exploded during the pandemic, and obviously, when you buy a bike, you got to go somewhere on it. So our trails and our parks were just heavily used during the pandemic, and it really showed the important value that Parks and Recreation plays in a strong community like West Des Moines. And pandemic or not, we will continue to provide our community with everyday enjoyment through people, parks, and programs. Thank you.
Ryan, fascinating. The parks are a key reason why people love to live in West Des Moines. We have a lot of sports enthusiasts, outdoor enthusiasts, and you're right, mental health. It's so critical for that. Frank Hansen has a really good question. Are you limiting the amount of people that are allowed to be at the Jamie Hurd Amphitheater this year? I looked too, and I didn't see that there was a limit. So no limit this year?
Well, we're kind of waiting and evaluating. Obviously, the CDC updated their outdoor recommendation. We'll take that in consideration as we get closer. Last year with the events that we did have out there, we did a reservation type system. We haven't determined if we will do that, not this year. So more to come on that.
Yeah, I can't wait. Toy Story at Jamie Hurd Amphitheater just sounds like so much fun. It's awesome. So thank you so much for your report. Incredible job you and your entire team do. Just can't thank you enough. Okay, MidAmerican Energy Company, RecPlex. We are so excited. This whole state of Iowa and the Midwest is excited. So Shane Ratcliffe is general manager, and we can't wait to hear from Shane. So thank you.
Thank you all. So I'm the general manager of the MidAmerican Energy RecPlex for the city of West Des Moines, and I'll give you a little bit of history about the facility. For those of you that don't know, I'll give you the kind of the 2-second tour. I know we're up against the time here, but the RecPlex is going to be a 300,000 square foot sporting and event space down there on Grand Avenue, just west of DMAC West down there. And so we're set up to host sporting events, concerts, conventions, community events, you name it, as well as adaptive recreation and sports therapy. Overall, we're going to have 3 outdoor synthetic turf fields, 2 full-size ice rinks, 4 basketball courts that are also lined to be 8 volleyball courts. We got 3 pickleball courts, a full-size indoor turf field, and
Catherine, I think you're good to go. I think you're back.
I'm back. Technical difficulties. When we're in person, we won't have to do this anymore, which is so great. Okay. I didn't know if it was my system or whose system, but Shane, are you back on the line with us?
Catherine, they were having some, I guess, a computer crash. So Shane said he would email his presentation
Okay.
to share with the group.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, we all know how amazing the MidAmerican Energy RecPlex is going to be. And that whole area is just exploding. DMU, you've got, of course, DMAC, which is incredible over there. So that is going to be a huge growth area for our city. Well, on that note, I wanted to have everybody wave, and I don't know if we've got a lot of folks on the line that are not showing their selves, but I would love to have everybody kind of do a little wave. We'll take a photo. Oh, thank you. Don Nickerson, if you want to show us your beautiful self. Ryan Hanser, Tori Glade, Tina, everybody. Yes, Mike, everybody do a final wave, because this is our final luncheon, and I appreciate that so much. That's awesome. Yay, very cool. Well, thank you so much to Bank Iowa for being our presenting sponsor, for IMT. Oh my gosh, such great companies in the community. Thank you so much for your sponsorship. And what we have coming up, make sure you get our newsletters. We have Citizen of the Year at the Jamie Hurd Amphitheater coming up. So that is going to be amazing. So of course, we have lots of programming at Raccoon River. We're also doing a brand new event with the community. More to come on that. But it's going to be called the Raccoon River Rally. It's going to be a huge festival, and we're going to take advantage of Raccoon River and beautiful Blue Heron Lake. So everybody have a wonderful, wonderful afternoon. Make sure you get those vaccines, and we'll talk to you soon. See you at the next event. Thank you.